welcome back to a new video, and today I'm actually back with a new Lego idea, or shall I say a Lego digital designer idea. So today I am actually with an idea that is about, let me say, zero oxygen levels, zero gravity. So let's go into space, shall we? And get into the video. So let me bring up Mr. Lego digital designer and snap. Oh, so the last time that thing worked, I guess it works again, except I did a collab next time. So let's get into this thing. So we have Mr. Shuttle, or should I say Shuttle Prithvi's based on Shuttle Endeavour. Well, yeah, there's 6 shuttles, I believe. Shuttle Atlantis, Shuttle Discovery, Shuttle Columbia, Shuttle Endeavour, and wait a second, let me just... Yeah, I guess there's more shuttles because the shuttles were created in the 1900s because it was used for this NASA space so that they can go into missions into space, explore the moon, and things like that. So why don't we get into the space shuttle? So this space shuttle is a realistic one because I didn't add any functions to it. So the shuttle bay, or the thing that keeps the instruments of with that astronauts use into space, it's kept inside the shuttle base. So it's not like openable because I try to make it look realistic. As you can see, the wing here is connected to it, so you cannot make it open. And it's the same with the cab, so I didn't make like the cab removable. So that's one part of the space shuttle. And I made tiles so it looks like it's like a real space shuttle with no rough edges, because as you see Legos, they have these rough edges. As you can see, let me just bring out a piece here. You can see they have these studs on the top, but if you add a tile, it looks very smooth. So that's what I did to the parts of the space shuttle to look like it's not like the studs and looks more like a flat surface, and and all these curved parts with the tiles and the slant and all those things. And I also managed to cover up these boosters and add this cockpit bow. I believe that's what it's called. Let me just click on it. Yep, it's called the Cockpit 19 boat, so that it looks like the boosters are not just like out in the open, but it's like more covered with these things. So that's one other thing I put here. And this front, which weirdly looks very nice because I think it looks very weird because of these slanted objects. It looks like a very realistic space shuttle. Also a very realistic plane. You can just add wheels on underneath and you can only make it your own jet. Just add some windows and seats in the back. So you can even make it into a jet plane, except it goes in supersonic speeds. So that's one thing. So let me do not save that. So now we're going to add the boosters. So right here we have the full version of the space shuttle and how it's going to be at the beginning. So how it works is at the beginning of the mission, the space shuttle will be at this launch pad and the countdown will go. It'll be like 3, 2, 1, T minus 3 seconds, 2, 1. It'll be like that. And as soon as it reaches about 3 seconds, the engines start firing up of the SRBs, all the solid rocket boosters, which is used to help the space shuttle go into space, and the external tank, which gives all the fuel. So after it launches, it goes into space and everything splits up. So the space shuttle will be on its own and will be using the external boosters on the space shuttle to turn itself around without using the main 3 thrusters. So that's how the space shuttle turns and works. And this is how I basically attached it, and it was quite hard because I put so much effort into this project. I could say it's about equal to my other one, my airport, or the international airport I made a few videos back. So it was like quite effort because even if I try to make, as you can see, this thing is not centered perfectly with this external thing, and I tried my best, but it just wouldn't happen. And after I started, I mean, even if I first attach it, it'll be like a fail because it won't just work. Nothing will attach, thrusters won't attach. So yeah, I mean, everything has fails, and this one especially took me a very long time, a month. So I'm happy with what I made because it looks very realistic and it's pretty large. I mean, there's about 500 bricks in this thing and 200 steps. So it's pretty good. And I made this idea based off a Lego set known as 10,123 or 10123. I think that's how they call it. It's a Shuttle adventure, but I just made it a little bit more realistic from that version. I made it a little bit shorter and made it more easy to build. So that's one thing. And there's also another way you can launch a space shuttle. So let me just get that. So a few videos back, this is not the one, but yeah, no, that is not the one. Okay, I'm gonna fail myself. Okay, let's see. Right here. So a few videos back, before the international airport, I made an American Airlines plane, And that is one way you can launch a space shuttle. Not with American Airlines, I mean, but with the plane. So usually they use the Boeing 747, but in this case I couldn't make one, so I used one of my earlier and the long planes. So this is one of my MD-80s. So in this plane, I put a shuttle on top, and this one is much easier because I could just like press it flat on it, so it is not like you have to like put some connector pegs from Lego Technique. But this one is much easier, and this is also another way you can launch because once the plane gets into an altitude of about 40,000, the shuttle separates and it uses its main thruster that only needs enough fuel to get it into space. So that is one another way you can launch a space shuttle. And let me say this one is much easier than putting the external tank and its RB boosters. So that is one thing about the space shuttle. So let me just a little bit go into a little more detailed overview of the space shuttle. So let's start at the front. In the front, we have our little cab that's kind of hidden. As you can see, there's these glass pieces on top to make it look like there's actually a cab inside of here, when there's really not. It's just filled. And as you can see, I use these different pieces. If I just clone this piece and show you, it's actually slanted. So I use one of these bricks. I think it's called a snot brick. Wait, let me just see. Yep, it's called a brick 1x1 with a knob. So if we put this brick like this, it actually connects. So we can just put it on the floor and it'll automatically connect. So we don't need like those bricks that last like slant to make it look like it. So we don't need to have like 2x2 bricks here. We can just put it like this and it's just easy. You're done with that. So that is one thing I learned, and I used some advanced things. So I used this bricks one by one bricks with knots to make these like slanted things to make it look like a real space shuttle at the front, and also with the glass to make it look like a realistic front and also realistic middle with this little bouncy thingy because it looked the space shuttle like. Let me just bring it. I think I closed it, but here. So as you can see, this space shuttle or special spatial endeavor has like this curved top, so that's what I'm trying to base on. And here's the windows and the front, but sadly I could not put the holes that are used for steering because it'll be very hard because I cannot like insert it into the spatial because I have to put. Okay, I'm saying too many because it just don't mind me. But yeah, that's how it's supposed to be because I cannot even put it inside. It's just too hard. You cannot. You have to make everything out of like 1x1 studs. That's how hard it is. So that's how you. Okay, I don't want that. I want my LCD back. So that's one thing I did. So to make it look like a realistic spatial, I made this shuttle bay. Which let me just hide these instead of like Xing them out. So I can just do that. So as you can see, the shuttle bay is where the equipment is kept on, as I told earlier. So that's that. And that's basically it for the space shuttle. We have our three main thrusters with our side thrusters here. And this one can be adjusted, I think. Let me just, yeah, we can like turn it. I mean, that's one way, make it like an angled space shuttle. Let me just put it back to 0. And if I get the perfect angle of one of these, if I can just, no, I don't want that. Well, yeah, you can actually turn these left or right. I think. Wait, is this the one? Yeah, you can just turn this around and around and around. That's one thing you can do with this. And if I get a very close, wait, I got it once. Wait a second. Okay, whatever. I mean, this thing can go to the right and left. So it can go to the right if it has to go to the right, or the left if it has to go to the left. So that is one thing I added in here, but I don't think the spatial uses that, so that's that. So that's basically it for this thing. So thank you guys for watching today's video. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos, guys. See you later!